the record since attaining Vucevic has been rather poor. You made this big move to get there and take advantage of this amazing Zach LaVine season. And now, if they are 11th, God forbid they're 11th, oh my goodness.
Really quick, before I begin, if you guys can smash the like button for the YouTube algorithm, this seriously makes a huge difference to my videos and lets YouTube know to recommend this video to a brand new audience. So thank you so much for doing that, and let's begin.
So by virtue of the top 10 getting an opportunity to play in the playoffs, you had some of these teams try to get better at the trade deadline. One of those I got to see in person last night, which was the Chicago Bulls, who made the big, surprising move, the first one of the trade deadline, which was the Vucevic move. They were on the 5th game of a 5-game road trip. So let me just couch this and say it was not necessarily fair to gauge them from being on the second half of a back-to-back, 5th game of a road trip. But I will say, after seeing them, things... I don't know. That is not fitting as well as I think was envisioned when it first happened. The record since attaining Vucevic has been rather poor, and I watched last night and thought, oh boy, they may get surpassed. Like and then it's a disaster. Because you have now had, where you were trying to, you made this big move to get there and take advantage of this amazing Zach LaVine season. And now, if they are 11th, God forbid they're 11th, oh my goodness. That's your nightmare scenario where you made that move to win right now and then you didn't. And I don't know. I think it's been hard to integrate it and to get it going. Your guy, Patrick Williams, I was super excited to get to see him in person for the first time. He got a dinky bucket last night, and they said that was the first 2 points he had scored in the last 8 quarters. And I was like, what in the world? And the other thing is, they need a point guard. Like, they're trying to play Satoransky there, and it just doesn't. Like, the LaVine thing with the ball in his hands, I don't think you can reach what you want to be like that. They need a point guard to just kind of get everything in order, to organize everything, and then let this guy be the fire starter, LaVine.
You were describing Lonzo Ball. Is that the type of point guard you'd like to see with LaVine in the backcourt?
Yeah, he doesn't need to be the guy, with the ball all the time. Running the show in terms of he'll get you huge numbers, he'll get you a lot of scores, but in terms of like getting everybody going, and I think that's part of why I watch now and say if it worked before, okay, but now that you've got Vucevic, I think it highlights the need that you need a guy to just get it all in order, organize it, throw post passes, run pick and rolls with him, all the kind of stuff. Because LaVine's not a creator. He's just not.
I mean, LaVine is a bucket. Yeah. And ultimately, that's the role
so
that he
is
would
Kobe
ideally
White.
be in.
Kobe White doesn't create for anybody.
Yeah, I mean, it's still kind of puzzling. They took White, but that's the past regime there. So with Chicago, I still like what this team has. And I'm not going to look at just the last couple of weeks when this roster outside of Vooch, outside of LaVine, outside of Thad Young, a lot of these guys aren't going to be here in the coming years. I'm not so sure.
I was shocked at how crappy Markkanen is.
Larry Markkanen.
I don't know what happened to this guy. We talk about rat teams and guys putting up huge numbers on them, and sometimes it can really mess them up. I do wonder if, being on those tanking ass, losing 60-game teams and him putting up 20-something a game and having all these records and all this stuff, if that was not a bad thing for his career. I think it's possible.
He might just be who he is, and that's a 7-footer who plays like he's 6'2". I mean, just being honest. You know, like he's never been a rebounder, never been a great defender, never been more than like a perimeter guy. He just might be who he is. And I think there's still maybe a role for Lauri Markkanen in the NBA, but not a guy who is deserving of being drafted 7th. And with Chicago, like I said, this team is incomplete. So like I did the video in the Void a couple weeks ago, Patrick Williams, I still say, is the key to their future. If Patrick Williams can become the two-way star that they need, who can defend multiple positions, who can score and shoot off the dribble, and he's shown flashes of doing that, then we're talking here. If you can integrate that type of player next to LaVine and Vooch. But however, it can't just be Patrick Williams. Like this whole roster, you mentioned the point guard position. Kobe White is not the perfect fit for Zach LaVine. He hasn't really developed at all since his rookie year. He's the same, if not slightly worse. Larry, we already said, is not a fit. Like across the roster,
Kobe is his destiny is being like a Lou Williams. That's what
something in that spirit. Something in that spirit. And you don't want to have that paired with Zach LaVine. You need more of the playmaking presence. So, like I said, this Chicago team, I still like what they have. They're just not there yet. And you would like to see them winning more games now after getting Vooch, after getting Daniel Tice, after doing what they did at the deadline. But fact is that this roster is a big incomplete. And I don't think we're going to see the benefits of that Vooch trade until, next season or even the year after that. And who knows what level they'll reach. This might be a team that's destined to be like a 4 or 5 seed. But there's a chance they can be more than that. Because there's no saying if LaVine continues to get better. People talk about the fact Vooch is 30 years old. But I would love to see Vooch in this scenario, in this situation, with a even better Zach LaVine, with a point guard who fits, with more talent around him, with a more seasoned Patrick Williams. There's still something there. It's just not there yet. It's not ready yet.
Yeah. The other thing is they are... they're going to be in that middle ground either way, whether they get one of those top 10 seeds or not with their opportunity. And you never know, you get in those scenarios. LaVine is the kind of guy that we just saw him go for 50 recently. So, I mean, he can do that. And certainly the kind of guy that you'd be scared of in a one-game scenario.